Godzilla Just Prey is a 2025 analog horror series created by the extremely talented Toonzilla, and it has easily become one of my fastest growing obsessions in these past couple of days. As someone who isn't very big on the analog horror genre, as I've explained multiple times in past videos, let me tell you, this is an absolutely fantastic watch. You can feel the deep love and passion that the creator has for this series poured into every aspect, from the Godzilla design reminiscent of Shin Godzilla, however adding its own unique details, from the Ghidorah design, from the fictional monster hunting organization, even down to the characters. The plot of Godzilla Just Prey even feels like something out of an official Godzilla product, as it takes place in the 1990s, years after the original Godzilla's death. However, fish and humans are beginning to mutate in unnatural ways and finding out that it's being caused from the cells of another Godzilla. Speaking of the main man himself, I cannot express enough how absolutely in love I am with his design. It looks like a complete amalgamation of human flesh melted together in itself, perfectly encapsulating the radiation horror of Godzilla, which is an underrated aspect of his character. One of my main issues with analog horror series, or just Godzilla analog horror series in general, is they're not really all that scary, or they try too hard to emphasize the horror aspect of Godzilla. Yes, horror has always been a huge emphasis or aspect of the Godzilla series. However, not a lot of fan-made creators know how to do it right, specifically as they did in the original series. Now, not everything has to be, one-to-one frame with Godzilla official media, of course, but what I like about what Toonzilla does is the way he subtly animates Godzilla adds into the horror aspect. Godzilla moving slightly slower than usual, giving him an almost uncanny aspect to his movements. His eyes moving faster than they should for a creature his size. It gives a more spine-tingling feel to it instead of the, jump scare in your face horror, which is very appreciated. Now, of course, we can't talk about Godzilla without talking about the other main character, or main villain, I should say, in this wonderful series. That is Ghidorah, or as I like to call him, Seraphim Ghidorah. And if I could make a whole hour video talking about how much I love this fan interpretation of Ghidorah, I fucking would, because this Ghidorah is absolutely fantastic. From his beautiful, angelic, disturbing-like design, multiple eyes, feeling like he looks blind and he has multiple eyes at the same time. It's weird to say, but if you see his design, you understand what I mean. It's absolutely fantastic and beautiful. He looks weightless, but seems extremely humongous at the same time. He just looks like a living contradiction, a walking phenomenon, and it is absolutely beautiful to see him on screen every time he appears. He somehow causes mass hysteria within a small town unnamed by the CODC. We will get into them later. However, this spreads out of the town faster than normal and creates a church called the Church of Ghidorah, and what the CODC call the Ghidorah phenomenon, where people experience mass visions of a golden god coming down and slaying the devil, which aka is Godzilla. The mass hysteria gets so bad, police, firefighters all begin rebelling. Civil unrest is at an all-time high, and it all culminates when all the followers of Ghidorah go into Ohio and begin floating into the air and conjoining in this blood mass ritual, which pulls Ghidorah to their world, allowing for the quote-unquote savior of humanity to kill off the devil on Earth. The fight between Godzilla and Ghidorah isn't very action-heavy, as it's not supposed to be. It's meant to be more stakes-heavy. It's meant to focus more on what happens after which one wins, and how that impacts the conflict of the world and, the state of how everything is going to be afterwards. It is an extremely interesting yet not uncommon dynamic that we have seen in the Godzilla media. However, it has not been explored to this extent, unfortunately. One aspect of Godzilla Just Prey that I am extremely impressed of is the characterization of the CODC and basically all the information we gain from them. Now, I'm aware that Toonzilla has made a remastered version, and he adds more characterization, more people and more players in the game. That is this situation that is happening. So he fleshes out the organization more. However, I do have a sort of fondness for the OG CODC. They feel more coldness, more realistic, withholding certain pieces of information, going strictly business. It feels less human They feel like less of a human organization and more of like a purely business operation, steady, you know, working machine, basically, like the real government, focusing mostly on minimizing as much damage as possible while not really caring about the human lives that have to be cost, or basically human lives that could be lost with what they are doing. My favorite character across this entire series has to be the priestess. Everything about her just eludes an uneery and unnerving sense. Every time she pops up on my screen, I get a chill down the spine of my back. Her traumatic backstory and how that has shaped her character now and shaped the events of the story is honestly very beautiful and a very engaging and out-of-the-box way of doing things. Not a lot of Godzilla analog horror has these sort of characters, so I'm glad that she exists, and I honestly hope we get to see more from her. I hope she gets an interaction with Ghidorah, you know, I hope she gets another interaction with Godzilla. I hope there's like a nice little thing to conclude her character and everything, because she is definitely fantastic. I love the priestess. She's a great character, and I really hope we see more from her. And that concludes this rambling sort of video. Hopefully, you know, you guys got something from that. Hopefully I convinced you guys to go check this series out. Season 1 just ended, so it's a perfect time to catch up. Watch the whole thing through. I recommend watching the remastered version, as it adds more characters and everything. They will likely be coming back in season 2 and everything. But I personally enjoyed the original better, but again, remastered version is probably still great. I'm gonna check it out too, see what it's all about, see what more stuff that Toolzilla has added. But yeah, man, that's gonna be the end of today's video. I just really wanted to talk about Godzilla Just Pray. It's a great series. I love everything about it. I love the biblical implications. Too, I forgot to fucking mention that there are a lot of biblical implications, obviously, Just Pray in the title. But yeah, no, man, this series is just incredible. I love it from start to finish. Can't wait to see what Toolzilla does more with the series. And yeah, hopefully I will, you know, make another video like this again. And I will see all you guys in the future of this wonderful little mini series. Peace.